This is Engage New York, Module 4, Lesson 4. This is Concept Development. So let's go ahead and get started with problem 1. 8 tons of gravel is equally divided between 4 dump trucks. How much gravel is in one truck? So remember what our objective for today was. It was to use tape diagrams to model fractions as division. So we have 4 dump trucks, right? 8 tons of gravel is equally divided between 4 dump trucks. So we know that this whole thing is equal to 8. We have 8 divide 4. So if we have 4 units is equal to 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units is equal to 8. Let's break this down and figure it out. So I'm going to use an algebraic method here. 4 divide 4, that's going to give me 1 unit here. 8 over 4 is going to give me 2 units. So this becomes 8 divide 4, right? 8 divide 4, 8 divide 4, that's what that becomes. And 8 divide 4 is 2. So there is 2 units, so there are 2 tons of gravel in each truck. So we have 8 tons total cut into 4, so we know there are 2 tons in each dump truck. All right, you could also use standard division algorithm and go to, now if I wanted to check my answer, I could go 4 times 2 is 8, right? So those are all the skills that we are building from our last module. All right, problem 2. So 5 tons of gravel is equally divided between 4 dump trucks. How much gravel is in one truck? So what changed? So how would our drawing be different if we had 5 tons of gravel? Well, our hole would be different, 5 and not 8. The tape diagram is the same, except for the value of the hole is different. So instead of 8, we now have 5, right? That's equal to 5 tons altogether, or 5 ton, if you will. Then we're going to still partition it into 4s because there are still 4 dump trucks. So how do we solve from here? What do we know? We know that these 4 units are equal to 5 tons. We know these 4 units here are equal to 5 tons. So 4 units is equal to 5. And we want to find what 1 unit is equal to. So what is the division expression you'll use to find what 1 unit is? Well, it's 5 divide 4. So let's go ahead and go back to here and go 4 units is equal to 5. So we're going to isolate and take that down to 1 unit because that's what we're actually trying to solve for. 1 unit is equal to 5 fourths. And what does that equal? It's equal to 1 and 1/4, right? So each dump truck held 1 1/4 tons of gravel. So each truck held 1 1/4 ton of gravel. All right, so now how do we check our work? Well, we can also do this using standard. So we could say 4 divide 5 is 1. 1 1/4 is another way to solve. How do we check our work? Check. We go 4 times 1 1/4. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and 1 1/4 takes us back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we got it. It checks out. So just a question for you. Between what two adjacent whole numbers is 1 1/4? So between, on a number line, 1 1/4 is between what two whole numbers? Well, it's between 1 and 2, right? So I want you to keep that in mind on your answer. Okay, so problem 3. A 3-meter ribbon is cut into 4 equal pieces to make flowers. What is the length of each piece? So think about that. What is 1 meter? Remember, 1 meter tall is from the floor to the doorknob. So 3 feet, a 3-meter ribbon, so think about how high that is cut into 4 equal pieces to make flowers. What is the length of each piece? So this is 3 divided by 4, right? 3 divided by 4. So we have 4 units because we have 4 equal pieces, and we have 3 meters total of ribbon. So let's get rid of our 4 on this side to take it down to 1 unit because that's what we're trying to solve for. So 3/4 meter long. So 1 unit is 3/4 of a meter long. So 3 divide 4. How could we check this? Well, we could say 4 times 3/4, right? So each one is now equal 3/4, which gives us 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. That is going to give us 3, 6, 9, 12. 12/4. 12/4 takes us back down to 3. So that's how we checked our work right here, right? So again, I have 4 units and it's equal to 3 meters, right? I'm trying to find out how much 1 unit is worth. So I divide on each side. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So I end up with 1 unit is equal to 3/4 of a meter long. And our final problem. 14 gallons of water is used to completely fill 3 fish tanks. If each fish tank holds the same amount of water, how many gallons will each tank hold? So knowing how to set up the problem to begin with. So here is our tape diagram. So we have 3 fish tanks, fish tank 1, 2, 3. And we know this whole thing has to equal 14 gallons, right? So what is our problem? It's 14 divide 3. So how do we do 14 divide 3? Well, what have we been doing? We set up, we say 3 units is equal to 14, right? And I'm trying to figure out how much 1 unit is worth. So I divide the top and bottom. I divide the top and bottom by 3. What I do on one side, I have to do the other. And that gives me 1 unit. So 1 unit is equal to 14 thirds. Another way of writing that is 14 divide 3, right? That's what our problem, that's what we started with. So 14 divide 3, how many times will 3 go into 14? Well, it'll go 4 times because that'll give us 12 and 2 thirds. So our answer is each fish tank will hold 4 2/3 gallon of water. Now, let's go through and let's do a standard algorithm. Let's go 3 divide 14, 4 2/3, right? How do we check our answer? So 3 times 4 2/3. So 4 2/3 plus 4 2/3 plus 4 2/3. That takes us back to 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. It takes us back to 14. So we know our answer is correct. One last thing. Between what two whole numbers does 4 2/3 sit? What two adjacent whole numbers does 4 2/3 sit? It sits between 4 and 5, right? All right, that's going to do it for concept development. We're going to use these same ideas in our problem set. So take out your problem set. You are going to use a tape diagram to solve, express your answer as a fraction, show the multiplication sentence to check your answer. The first one is done for you. So 1 whole divide into 3 equal units. We did 3 units is equal to 1. We divided by 3 and got 1 unit is equal to 1/3. Here is using standard division form. And then we checked our answer. So you're going to do that for 3 problems here. Then on the back, you're going to fill in the chart, and this chart goes with yesterday's lesson. And then finally, we have some word problems here. We have 2 word problems, but they're broken up into smaller steps. Greg spent $4 on 5 packs of sports cards. You're breaking this down, and you're following the same steps that we just did in the concept development. So after you've completed your problem set, come back to check your work, because remember, the problem set goes right with the homework.